All right, Thursday the 6th, this is our full body. So we have 2 parts. We have 5, 6, or 7 rounds of swings, hammer curl to punch out, lunge hold with circle raise. And then our part 2 is skaters. So swings. This is great with a kettlebell, but if you don't have one, that's okay, this might hurt. This is how it all began. I started doing swings one day, and my back just said no. Swings, hammer curl to punch out. We have not done this before, I don't believe. Maybe less, I don't know. But it's, if you've been with me, you can probably figure it out. Hammer, punch, return. Hammer, punch, return. Lunge hold with circle raise. I don't think we've done this one either, but this one is way trickier than you think, so don't go too heavy. Lunge hold, circle raise, because you have to do 12 per side, okay? So these circle raises, so you're doing 24 circle raises. And then our skaters. Okay, so again, 5, 6, or 7 rounds, 12 reps, swings. So these are kettlebell swings, but I know a lot of you don't have kettlebells, so I don't show it with one, I show it with a dumbbell. So you can do it multiple ways. If you, I don't know, say you don't have heavy enough weights, you want to combine the 2 that you have to make it heavier, you can hold 2. If you have the perfect weight, you can hold 1. If you need to go heavy and you don't have 1 heavy dumbbell, you can hold 2 together, you know what I mean? So it depends on what you're looking to do. I'm just gonna show you with the 1, I hold it like this by the top. Now for our swing, very similar to the hinge from our straight leg deadlift. It's actually pretty much almost the same, really similar movement, except you have an arm component now, okay? So you're gonna do the same thing. So you're gonna push your butt to the wall, you're gonna hinge forward at the waist, the weight is gonna come in between your legs, okay? When you come up, you're gonna thrust your hips forward and the weight's gonna come up in front of you, okay? So hinge at the hip, butt back to the wall, your back is straight, you are not hunching, you're not dropping your shoulders, you're keeping everything as straight as you can, and then you thrust forward, thrust, thrust. So when you do kettlebell swings, a lot of people think it's an arm exercise. It's not. I mean, it does use your arms, but the biggest things that you're using is your hamstrings, your butt, and your lower back, okay? So when you do it, again, get in that straight leg deadlift position, and then thrust forward, okay? So you're getting all of your power from pretty much, like I said, your butt, your hamstrings, and your lower back, okay? A lot of people get hurt with these because number 1, they're using too heavy of weight and they have bad form. So what bad form looks like when you're doing a kettlebell swing, I'll use a really light weight to show you, is when you come down, you're coming in like this. I know it's hard to see because I'm wearing a dark shirt and dark background. This happens every month, but I'll get really close. So what happens is people come down and they come down like this. So see how my back is rounded? You need to come down like this. So that's mistake number 1. People come in like this and they've got a super heavy weight and it's just straining their back, and then they whip it up and now you're straining the lower part of your back, okay? So don't do this when you come in. Be like this when you come in, okay? So you always, like, I don't know, maybe it's just because I have kind of bigger boobs, but I always like feel like I'm like using this part of my arm to like push my boobs together, and that kind of like helps keep my back straight versus being like this, okay? So that's mistake number 1 people make. Mistake number 2 people make is when they thrust and they come up, they overarch this way, okay? So they come down and they do a big backward arch, okay? So that's the same thing. You're doing way too much the other way, and that can strain your back. So you want it to be nice and even. So come down, between your legs, your shoulders are still up, and then, so when I say thrust, you want to squeeze tight. That should stop you from doing this because, I don't know, when you contract like that, it kind of stops, right? So big contraction, but it keeps you pretty level. If you're just swinging willy-nilly, it's easy, that even hurts, to do that. So again, think about your straight leg deadlift motion, hinge at the hip, make sure that your shoulders are not slouched down, and then you come up, squeeze that butt, and it'll stop you here, okay? Sorry, swings always take a really long time to explain, but I want to make sure you guys get it right because I don't want anybody getting hurt. It's really annoying when people get hurt doing swings because it's so easily avoidable. If you are not sure what you're doing, do it in front of a mirror or record yourself, and if you really are still unsure, send me the recording, okay? Hammer curl to punch out. So this one is another one where, like, I always use like an in-between weight because bicep curls and different variations of bicep curls are going to be easier than this move because of the punch out. So I would go a little bit lighter than what you would normally do. So your hammer curl just looks like this, okay? So it's a bicep curl where you hold the weight the long way, okay? So normal bicep curl, usually you're holding it like this. Hammer curl, you're holding it like this. So your palms are facing each other when you do a hammer curl, okay? So you're gonna hammer curl, but now you're gonna punch. So you're gonna punch your arms out straight, bring them back to hammer curl, down, 1, curl, punch, back to curl, down, 2, curl, punch, 3, right? Yeah. 4, okay? So adding that little extra punch out, like holding a weight out in front of you, gets heavy, okay? So that's why I'm saying it's gonna be harder than your normal bicep curl just by adding in that little punch. Lunge hold with circle raise. Again, I said this before too. This one is what, I don't know, maybe I don't know what I did the day before I did this one, but this one killed me. Like the lunge with the raise, I hated it. It felt so heavy, so difficult. I don't know. So here we go. You're gonna hold a lunge, which looks like this. So pretty much 90-degree angle, straight leg up on your toe. 90-degree angle, straight up on your toe. Notice I'm staggered, I'm not tightrope. Tightrope, you can't see my back foot. Staggered, you can. Knees pointing forward, toes pointing forward, hips pointing forward, shoulders pointing forward, 90-degree angle up on my toe. This is my lunge hold. Now I'm gonna add in my circle raise. Your circle raise looks like this. Just make a circle, right? Seems so easy. Get in your lunge. Your weights are gonna kind of be like under or between your legs. 1, 2, 3, up to 12. Then you're gonna switch and get into your opposite leg lunge. Up to 12. So I think it's just that, I mean, I don't know. I am not a good rester when I work out. So maybe the problem was I was not resting between legs enough. But I feel like doing the 24 of these is what was tiring. And I was only using 5 pounds. But I don't know. Maybe it was whatever workout I had done before that made me really sore. You'll see for yourself. So again, you might want to go lighter than you think. So that's your rounds section, and you're gonna move on to a timer. So it's gonna be, you're gonna pick between 20, 25, 30, it could be 28, whatever you want, any number between 20 and 30 seconds of skaters, 25 seconds of rest. We're doing it for 5 rounds, okay? So your skater is gonna look like this. So I'm gonna back up big time. Okay. This is what your skater looks like. So with that being said, what I'm doing is I'm basically pushing off of one foot and bounding, okay? Push off this foot, bound. Push off this foot, bound, okay? So when I do this, that's helping me go farther, okay? My arms are helping me go farther, okay? So I'm bounding, I'm bounding, I'm bounding. So when I land, This foot comes diagonal back. Then I push, diagonal back, push, diagonal back, push, diagonal back. Now the last component is, if you're going really hard and you have good form, you're gonna almost bend and touch your toe. So you're gonna launch off and come about here, okay? Launch, down, launch, down. So you wanna do that, like I said, if you have good form. So when you launch yourself and you come here, see how low I am? I'm really low because of the bend in my leg, but my back is not like this. So I'm like this, right? That's good. A lot of people complain of back pain when they do skaters because they do this. And I don't even know if I can do it, right? Hunch, hunch, hunch. They hunch when they come in because they're not bent enough in their leg. So if I'm all the way down here, I can touch the tongue of my shoe without even moving my shoulders down. If you bound and your leg's not very bent, you're up here and you go to touch your toe, your back is super rounded, okay? So don't necessarily worry about touching the toe or not. Like I just did before, I can bound and do it great without even bending over at all, right? Or I can add in my bend. But what's happening is I'm bending really low, like my leg is at a 90-degree angle. I'm way down there, okay? So if you can't do that, you can always take it slower, all right? And go here, or however you can make it work, okay? That's your Thursday.